to the Sylvia Career podcast, where we have conversations that matter. Before we pick up today's conversations, we are going to review a little bit of what happened in the previous episode, which we talked about self-sabotage, myself and other authors whom we have written together the book. We have talked about our experiences in that book. So for more information, you can always reach out via the address that will be at the screen. And today's conversation is a continuation of what I started, which is the self-sabotage, but we are going to look at it in the perspective of a publisher. And today I have Mr. Radido, who is going to introduce himself at the studio. You're welcome, Mr. Radido, to introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you so much, Sylvia. My name is Dooso, Radido, as has been said. I am the director, founder, ZionPearl Publishers, which is the publishing house behind the book Self-sabotage, which basically looks at the things that women do that hinder their progress, their growth, and their becoming who they are supposed to be. So beyond that, we offer publishing solutions in the marketplace, and our approach to it is to work on interventional projects that speaks to specific issues in the marketplace as a way of bridging those gaps. And that's why we are interested in building, literature and, triggering conversations around the value of women in leadership and what needs to be done to be able to harness the resourcefulness of women as a way of contributing to the overall growth and development agenda. So I'm so very glad to be here today, and I'm looking forward to a richful conversation.
Thank you. You're welcome. And to this side, I have Celine. Celine, would you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, Sylvia. Hi, everyone. My name is Celine Chege. I am the project assistant at ZionPearl Publishers, as Mr. Dooso said, the publishing house behind the book Self-sabotage. My role is basically to support the authors from the concept ideas to it coming to life, that is after the launch and post-launch. Yes. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for having us today, and I can't wait for this conversation.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. Indeed, it's an honor to have you both at the studio today. So, Mr. Radido, I know we've talked about it a little bit when we were catching up. How many books of this nature have you released out there so far?
Well, I'll answer that question in two ways. I'll talk about what we have done so far and what we intend to do when everything is said and done.
Yes.
So far, we have done 12 volumes. Each of them are covering different themes, different cohorts, and speaking to different issues. As I had said previously, we are interested in providing solutions to certain gaps that we see happening in the marketplace.
Okay.
The overall goal or objective of this project is to feature about 10,000 women leaders. And we are giving ourselves between 10 and 15 years to be able to clear that up. It's a lot of work to do.
Yes.
But we are up to the task. We are enjoying every step of it. And so far, we are very, very impressed by the impact that has been created so far.
Awesome. 10,000 is quite something. So what percent are we at now?
Well, so far, I think we've done about 120 or 100 and something thereabout. So you can be sure we still have a long way to go.
All right.
But we are happy with the results that we are producing so far.
Okay.
Because comparing now and when we began, today it's impossible for somebody to say that they cannot find literature, locally curated literature about women and leadership or what's going on in the women's world. Because we want to make it absolutely impossible for somebody to say that they can't find any kind of literature or they can't hear the voices of women. We are trying to settle that question once and for all.
Awesome. Yeah. I love what you've spoken about. And earlier when we were just having an informal conversation, this thing came up that there is a lot of literature out there, but it is not addressing our own experiences. We've been exposed to other books, for example, any book that's addressing imposter syndrome and even the self-sabotage, you hardly find anything that is locally made. So how did this concept of just gathering African women to say their stories and amplifying their voice, because I perceive that is the objective of ZionPearl.
You're right. Having been in the marketplace and having been part of the ongoing conversation, actually, we picked the cues for this project from the conversation around, gender inclusion, gender balance, diversity, equity, inclusion, etc. All those kind of things people talk about. And we started asking ourselves the question, why do we have the situation as it is today? What are the root causes of the gaps that we are seeing in our spaces today? And we realized that a lot of that is coming from conditioning.
Yes.
A bit of that conditioning is cultural, a bit of it is educational, a bit of it is religious, etc. And because a lot of what's going on in life and in the corporate front comes from training, we have to ask the question, what are people being trained on? What are their reference materials? Then we realize that there is an over-reliance on literature that comes from other parts of the world. And that is what was used to create the models that were created and to try and provide solutions to the issues as it were. And much as there's no problem with that, because that's the background where we are coming from, we have gotten to a place where it's now necessary for us to build contextually relevant interventions that are drawing from the insights that come from the dynamics that are happening within our environment. Because it is at that point that we are able to actually solve the problems through the interventions we're building. Otherwise, you would be creating red when the ground actually needs blue. So if you don't hear what the ground is saying, you'll keep showing up with red, and yet that's not what we want. So we listen to the ground, and then we get to know exactly what the ground is saying and what is missing, and then we build it and provide it. And when we do that, some problems that have persisted for long will now be settled once and for all. And as I said earlier, it's our intention to settle some questions once and for all. It's going to be impossible for anybody to say, I can't find a book about women that's focusing on local women leaders, or I can't hear the voices of women, or I don't know what they are going through, what they are saying. No, we'll make that completely impossible for anybody to say.
I love that. And when you're just speaking, I have just remembered a course that talks about design thinking. And design thinking in itself is based on user stories of getting the user to give you feedback on what is needed at the ground. Otherwise, it will not be possible for us to solve a problem at the surface level. We need to get deeper. So I am so happy and grateful to hear that you went down to the roots and saw this is a need that needs to be uncovered so that we can we are solving African problems using the solutions that we locally have. I really love that. Otherwise, we will be solving imaginable problems. We really need to solve from the context that we are in. And that was, for me, that was a very, and remains to be a very good way of handling African problems. So that I can read other books. Of course, we are not vilifying what they've written, but we can bring it to our own context. So I'm so happy and grateful to hear that from your perspective as a publisher.
Thank you.
So to you, Celine, how has it been handling this project?
The self-sabotage project?
Yes.
Well, for my case, it's been eye-opening, first of all, and also a learning experience for me, because going through the book also and handling the project, the process itself, you come to discover that this is something we actually go through. And like Mr. Dooso said, we are getting to experience this from a perspective of people we see. And the examples we have gotten so far are from outside the Western world, like the conversation we had earlier. But now getting to see that Sylvia, who is close to me, I can see you, and you're getting to talk about self-sabotage. gives me the understanding that I am not going through this alone, and it also helps me identify as a young person who is also building a career that this is something you have to go through and you have to identify to make the next bold step in life. So, like I said, it is eye-opening, it is a learning experience, and I can't wait for the insights and the things that I'll get to on board and put on myself after this.
All right.
Yes.
That's very beautiful. I know you've read our stories because we brought the material when it was raw as it were.
Yeah.
What do you pick? What is what do you pick from the stories from various authors?
Okay, now the story is mainly about women, and I've learned that the conditioning women have from the community, how we are raised. This is one thing that keeps knocking in my mind, humility. And I've read countless times that humility is not a good virtue at the way we are taught to feel. Sometimes humility is what keeps holding women back.
Yes.
More so on our achievements. And also, for your chapter, you said we should not downplay our achievements or our success. Like saying you've led a technical team into success, and then you're saying, no, I had a good team, and you did the work. So for women, we have been conditioned that we must be humble to our successes. We must cage ourselves, which is something that's going through the book. I am learning to unlearn. I am teaching myself to unlearn that I must push myself up, advocate for myself as a woman, because no one else will advocate for me. Also, that is one thing I am learning. Yes.
Awesome. That's very interesting. Now we go to Mr. Radido to give us the perspective of what he has observed that we do as women, that the things that we do, just from an observer point of view. What are your thoughts on that, on self-sabotage?
Well, thank you so much. For the last 3 years, almost every day I've spoken to a woman.
Yes.
Including today.
Yes. And you have two here.
Yes. So those 3 years have given me access to a lot of information. And it has just been conversational kind of talk. So I get to hear what they think, what they feel, how they see the world, etc. And from all that, this is what I have come to conclude. Number one, we live in the same world, but we don't experience the world the same way.
Absolutely.
Women are experiencing this world completely differently. Men are completely differently experiencing what we are seeing here. Number two, a lot of what women bring to life is never served to the world. They go back with it. A lot of the women resource gets buried because right from the young age, they get born into an environment that has so many prescriptions of what they should be and what they should not be, how they should talk, how they should dress, how they should eat, how they should sit, how they should place their legs and their hands, where they should look. I mean, there are so many prescriptions all over the place. And those prescriptions are actually running the women's world. In my life, I have seen very, very few women who are completely free. Do you know the freedom where you are absolutely carefree? You don't care whether somebody is watching or not. You're not holding your words back because you don't know how it will be judged. You're not afraid of expressing your thoughts, or you're not afraid of trying something or experimenting something. I've seen very, very few women who do that. And those who are able to do that usually have taken some time before they get into that space. So that a lot of what we call the woman's life is actually caged up to the point where they will decide, I want to be free. If you listen to the voices of women who have tasted freedom, they sound very different. One such woman is the late There is this American poet who died, the lady who wrote I Know Why the Caged Bird
Maya
Sings.
Angelou.
Maya Angelou. That is an example of a woman who has tasted freedom. Now, if you listen to how she speaks after freedom,
Yes.
she has life-giving words. When she speaks life-giving words because that is how it is. So the other thing I've discovered is that when women are born,
Yes.
number one, they are under-raised because of the conditioning that goes around that. Number two, they are undereducated because of the courses they are not supposed to do. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
There are some things you are told, no, this is not for you. This is not for this kind of people, you know. These days, somebody is trying to break those kind of shells and getting women to excel in those kind of spaces. If you go to workplaces, they are underemployed because there are certain things they are not supposed to do. And even if they find themselves doing, they are not permitted to do. For example, talk to any woman leader and ask them, when did you feel that you are leading freely without many strings attached or without many blockades being put in front of you? Very few of them. Now go to homes. When they are married, they are undermarried. Do you
What
know
do you
that?
mean
Do you
by
know
that?
that when you get married, you're supposed to be an equal partner in the mix? Because that's what was in the mind of God.
See that again.
When God created a woman, He was thinking about making a help meet. That's how the Bible describes that.
Yes.
A help meet. That is somebody who has capability to meet this man at the point of his need and supply support and help. You know, you cannot be helped by somebody who is helpless
True that.
or somebody who is weak or incapable.
Yes.
By the time you're showing up as a helper, you are a powerful person. But when you show up in this culturally defined marriage, you are not permitted to do those things. There is some food you're not supposed to eat. There is a conversation table you're not supposed to join. And some women have had the harshest form of this. They can't even sit on the table with other people to eat. They eat from the background there. So they are undermarried. But when they die, they are overburied. Everything about them gets buried. So that is the only thing society is doing very well with the woman resource. Burying it completely. That is when we really appreciate the totality of, the wholeness of a woman.
Yes.
We handle the whole package the way it's supposed to be and we place it 6 feet under.
Oh my.
At that point, we do very well. All these other places, we are under. That's why I said a lot of the woman resource is not served to the world. It gets buried.
Even before it starts, as you said.
Yep.
And I think then that makes sense on what you're saying, that when you observe, you can already see self-sabotaging behavior.
Yep.
Like you've just started by saying you are undermarried. That means you're bringing your faulty self into this marriage. You're
Yes.
not coming as a helpmate. You're coming as an inferior partner, which is so wrong. It wasn't in the mind of God that way.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what I've understood from what you've mentioned. And then when you talk about leadership, that means we are in the leadership that we are in, we are still underperforming because we are holding ourselves back. We are burying a lot of ideas that we have. We want to seek for external validation. And because that external validation is not coming, you end up not raising your hand or even doing anything. I think that this is part of the conversation that's happening in the self-sabotage, that you're afraid of raising your hand because you think society and things have conditioned you that you can only come this far.
That's right.
So I want to throw this to Celine because she's slightly younger. And how has your experience been in the little time that you've been in the corporate world? How was that? I think we had a snippet of a conversation earlier. Do you want to tell me more about your experience there?
Okay. As I'll just concur with Mr. Dooso. He spoke on the things women are expected not to excel at and excel. And I'll late plain and bold, sciences and arts.
Yes.
In school, from primary, we were told girls will pass English, Kiswahili, history, those subjects. You're not expected to excel in math, physics, and science. Well, I am a math person, and this is something I will say through and through. I am a good numbers person. I deal well with numbers. I succeed in numbers. I did economics. So while I did my internship, like I said before, I was the only lady in the finance department.
Yes.
So it was this experience I had. A few of the execs came to have a meeting, and they seemingly were comfortable to have a conversation with us. Not with us, with themselves. I was just there doing my own things. And then I happened to catch a glimpse of their conversation saying, I do not like women in the finance sector. It is hard to deal with them. So I was like, in my mind, what has a woman done in the finance sector that you are doing that is different? Is it getting married? Because as the community says, women are conditioned to get married. When you get married, you have to put a hold on your career. Or when you actually, diabolical thing is some companies fire people for getting pregnant, women for getting pregnant. They will fire you on the spot. So those are the experiences as a lady on setting my career. Because this is a male-dominated field, we do not want you here. But the thing is, my skills are actually on par or actually far better than yours. I do my work quite well, excel in what I do. So what disqualifies me as a young lady to not be part of this department? You see, so the discrimination and the conditioning that was supposed to be in the arts world, personally, I do not like. It's stereotyping women into a certain box. And like we said, we do not fit ourselves into a box. So that perspective has been there from the onset, from a younger age, like from when you birth, before your birth, there's a certain condition. So now the self-sabotaging part is you trying to fit into the system that was created for you. So you say, okay, I don't want to do this because I'm supposed to pass English, or let me not do this because it will go against the norms. Now, those tendencies are created from a young age. We limit ourselves to make people happy, to make the community happy, to make the male ego happy, everyone else happy, as long as we fit the box that the community and people have set for the woman and the girl child, which is something personally I do not like. And I'll always say a statement that my dad tells me every single time I go or I apply for a job. He says, do not limit yourself. I know you're a lady. Never limit yourself. If you are disrespected, make sure to respectfully call out the person for disrespecting you. And if you feel you're in a place that does not value you, boldly walk out, come home, we'll look for the next step. So that is something I personally feel that as a community and as people raising children, not only for the girl child but also for the male, do not stereotype or put people, because this will bring out the self-sabotage tendencies and limit people's potential.
Wow, that's very powerful, and it's very good to hear it from a perspective as a young lady that we have the experiences you've gone through are still the same that we are going through right now in different levels. But I'm happy that we are calling it out. Earlier, we had a conversation still, and there's something you mentioned that you are expected to serve tea simply because you're the woman in the room.
Yes.
Then really took a little bit about that, because that is quite a conversation.
Yeah, first of all, personally, I don't like serving tea. Let's start with that. So, it is an expectation which I've not only I experienced, but I've actually seen a lot of people experience it in the corporate space. And this is from people who I have, my friends and people I've worked with. When there is time for refreshments, the ladies are expected to serve. Why is that? We are in the workplace. You're not in a home setting. I did not come to serve you. I came to do the work that was asked of me. So why do you, as a man or a gent or somebody else, expect me to serve you? So for me, That experience really didn't sit right with me. But like I said, I did not do it. I just told them I won't serve you. I'll ask someone who is in charge of this. Because in the corporate office, there are the tea people, the people who do the serving.
Yes.
Who do like they're in charge of the tea. They'll pour the tea for you. If not, pour the tea yourself. So I told them I'll ask someone to do it. Or if I can, I'll just give you the cups, the sugar. Actually, that is what I do. If someone tells me to serve them, I bring them the cup. I say the sugar is there. If you're using tea bags or coffee, it's there. Pour it yourself. Mix it yourself. After that, you know where to dispose the cup. So because we should not give power, because we're trying to break the cycle, right?
Yes,
Aren't we?
absolutely.
Because if we do not break the cycle, 10 years later, 20 years later, ladies will still experience this, and they'll say, this seems to be normal because it has been happening for years and years. So I should conform to it. And that conforming is humbling yourself, fitting yourself in a box, which adds on the self-sabotage that we are still tackling.
Yes.
So that will not really achieve the goal we want to do right now by writing the book and telling them to stand up for themselves. As a woman in the workplace, you know what you're supposed to do it, and go home.
I love that. And not that there is anything wrong with being humble or the humility,
Yes.
but not in the humility that becomes self-sabotage,
Yes.
yeah? Because earlier when you talked about amplifying what you have done, like if you have done an excellent job, don't deflect the compliments,
Yes.
yet it was you, because that is self-sabotaging behavior. So undoing the patterns that have made us behave in such a manner is definitely something great to talk about. Now, Mr. Radido, what's your perspective on that? That we are all seated here, we are all at par, as par in a meeting, and then the gents sit on that side and then expect us to bring the tea. What's your perspective on that?
Well, like I said earlier, a lot of the behaviors that we carry around and that carry us around, because that's another side of the story,
Yes.
coming from social conditioning. There is what I would call social acceptance and social fit,
Yes.
which runs along the lines of what they have come to call gender roles. Gender roles are powerfully subconscious, that sometimes when you are doing it, you can't even, you can't even sometimes remember that actually what you're doing is gender role. And those are what would translate to gender expectations, just like it is expected for men to be strong, for men to be providers. I've had an opportunity to be part of conversations where we talked about the man as a provider and the changing dynamics of life.
Yes.
So that sometimes those prescriptions that came from social conditioning, sometimes they run into disruptions in life, and
Yes.
it doesn't play out like that. For example, what happens when a man has lost his job and the ability to provide as a family? Does that reduce him from being a man to being some other kind of alien? Does he lose his manhood or his position in the family or in the society? Those kind of things. So the question around women and serving, which keeps playing out even in corporate spaces, where
Yes.
you have a meeting of leaders, and women leaders are feeling like they should be serving the men. When they begin to do that, it is because now they are responding to the social conditioning that told them in a place where there are men and women, women should serve. So that is the social conditioning.
Yes.
Much as there is nothing wrong with the act of service,
Serving, yes,
but it
yes.
becomes wrong when the conditioning now is used to subjugate people, or to limit people, or to define people through certain lenses, and define their capabilities through certain lenses, and not see the rest of the resource that remains untapped in that kind of a person. For example, this generation has now demonstrated to us that women are not just mothers, they are also breadwinners.
Yes.
And men are not just breadwinners, they are also parents that can raise children at home.
Absolutely. Yes.
I've seen fathers who remained at home to babysit. Not that they are weaklings, but they wanted to invest in the lives of their
Their
children,
own children, yes.
by just availing their presence. So that as we talk about this, we must be able to see where the problem is coming from. Because if we see where the problem is coming from,
Yes.
then we can begin to fix it from the root.
Yes.
I think one of the things that we are going to do going forward is
Yes.
to unlearn and relearn. Because there are some things that we are going to unlearn
Yes.
in light of the new knowledge that we have today,
Absolutely.
in light of the new realities that we are creating for ourselves, so that instead of this leading into a friction and a fight,
Yes.
we tell ourselves, hey, listen,
Yes.
this worked in the traditional system because that is the level of knowledge they had built, and that is how they
Yes.
appreciated life.
Yes.
Today, things have changed.
Yes.
And we are finding ourselves busting some of those boundaries,
Yes.
or doing more than what the traditional people did.
Yes.
For example, you would be very uncomfortable to be a wife who sits at home because tradition required women to sit at home. Yet you know you are intellectually capable.
Yes.
You have the ability to earn and contribute to the financial well-being of the family.
Yes.
Or even other capabilities that were probably never appreciated in the traditional model. But today, life requires that we appreciate that. So that would be my response to this. And,
Yes.
and my challenge to anybody who's going to listen to this is, let's have an understanding of what works in our current dispensation,
Yes.
and what poses a challenge to the demand that life is placing on us today.
Yes.
Where necessary, let's unlearn
Yes.
and relearn, so that we become relevant people in the current dispensation.
Wow. I love what you've talked about, unlearning, which
Yes.
is the very thing, undoing the patterns, the things, the social conditioning that have been imposed on us.
Yep.
That if something is no longer serving you, then you have no business holding on to it.
Yes.
Because that is in itself self-sabotaging behavior.
That's
I
right.
know that this is not going to work. Why would I pursue? Then that means I need to drop it right there.
Absolutely.
And I know that people who are going to continue this conversation by reading what has been put out there is going to help in overcoming self-sabotage. The good news is that self-sabotage is not a life sentence. It is becoming aware of it and constantly working towards becoming a better person.
Right.
And so to this, I would like us to tackle the rest part of our conversation, which is to do with, so I know you have handled for 3 years, you've been handling women. So what is your perspective on this other side, that it looks like the girl child has been over-empowered and then the boy child has been neglected? What's your perspective from the point of who you handle daily as a publisher?
Yeah, that's a powerful question, because that question keeps coming.
Yes.
And of course, they ask, why are you focusing so much on women and not men?
Yes.
And I like going back to the original plan that God had. And I think I've already quoted the scripture that was used as a basis for the creation of a woman, because a woman, the need for a woman was talked about before she came. And it was seen that it's not good for a man to be alone. I wish they could tell us the details of what would happen to him if he was alone. Was he going to be a beast, or what was he going to do? Was he going to kill himself? Or he's going to die of exhaustion because of work? Because, if not stopped, men can work.
Yes.
Yes. So the idea of God about the male and the female dynamic was
Yes.
complementarity.
Yes.
That was the idea of God. So that a woman would complement a man, and a man would complement a woman. Now, if you look at how it was playing out, it was a union of strengths.
Yes.
You're bringing a certain strength that I don't have. and I'm bringing a certain strength that you don't have.
True that.
So that if I use the example of eyes, if you are my left eye, then I should be the right eye. If we make a mistake of converting both eyes to be right or left, then there is something that is going to happen to your vision that is going to confuse your world. You will never believe what you are seeing. People will begin looking like trees or smoke. Because there is a contribution that your right eye brings to the image you are seeing in front of you that you can't know until you shut it. In fact, if you do an experiment right now and shut one of your eyes, you'll actually see like half of the world is blocked. You're not seeing half of the world. Yet when you're using them both, you may think, I mean, this is one eye can do this work. You shut one, you'll see. Actually, half of the world you're seeing today is just going to be shut off. So that when we are looking at life, we should be aiming at an empowered man doing life with an empowered woman. Because that dynamic is more powerful than an empowered man doing life with a disempowered woman.
Okay.
Or an empowered woman doing life with a disempowered man. Or a disempowered man doing life with a disempowered woman.
Oh my.
So what we are being treated to today is an empowered man doing life with a disempowered woman.
Yes.
There is something that I heard. Somebody said something one time and I thought that was a very powerful quote.
Yes.
He said, if you want to know what it means not to be on top of the hierarchy, imagine your life as a chicken.
Why chicken?
Because in the hierarchy of life, man is on top. Man can decide today I'm eating this chicken. But there is no day a chicken will decide today I'm eating this man. Because man is on top of the hierarchy. If we decide we don't want elephants in this world, do you know what we are going to do? We'll kill them. Because we are on top of the hierarchy. So we are being treated to a world where women have never tested what it means to be on top of the hierarchy. You leave your father's house. In that hierarchy, dad was the guy. You go into your husband's house. In that instance, the man. You go into the office. You find another hierarchy issue there. You go to church. You'll most likely find it. So women have always been chicken in this hierarchy.
Very sad.
So the day we will now have an empowered woman doing life with an empowered man, it changes the dynamics of life. And I'm going to show you the impact of that. Go into any family where the man is working and the woman is working. Look at the economic status of that family and then check the quality of life of the children. Then go to another family where the man is working and the woman is not working. Look at the economic status of the family and then check the quality of the children. Then go to the other one where the man is not working, the woman is not working. Look at the economic status and the quality of life. You realize that in households where the woman is working and the man is working, children tend to have a better life.
True that.
Compared to those other instances.
Yes.
And sometimes you would have to see what happens to life when the breadwinner is knocked off life for you to see the magnitude of the trouble that we are creating. In families where the man was the sole winner of bread, when he dies or he becomes incapacitated, that family most of the time is reduced down to poverty. Only on rare occasions you would see some kind of salvaging going on, either because the woman was intelligent or capacitated, or because the family decided to cushion them from free fall. But in families where the woman is working, is empowered, and the man is also empowered, if the man is knocked off or becomes incapacitated, they tend to continue. It may not be at the same level, but they will continue. So, my point is that we should aim at what God had in mind when he was creating people. God brought an empowered woman to an empowered man. And he told them, start life from that point. So that is what we should do. So this whole idea of gender fight should stop. Because what we're doing today is what we call gender fight. man will fight a woman, and a woman will fight a man. And when women are rising, men are crying. And when men are rising, women are also crying. So when we are focusing on empowering women, it is not because we are neglecting men. It is because we are trying to bring them to the level
Yes.
of good functionality, so that this empowerment, working with this empowerment, can give us something bigger than what we can experience from either of these individually.
All right.
That should be the point. So that at the end of the day, when we have empowered the women and the girls and everybody, we end up marrying them. We end up being either brother to them, sister to them, or daughter or son to them, or daughter to them. So there is nowhere they will take it. They will still come and serve it back to us, because your empowerment will not go with you to heaven.
Anywhere.
You will drop it somewhere in the society.
Yes.
And we are doing this because we know that we cannot stand on one leg.
True that.
People tend to forget. They think that men are enough to create two legs. It's not possible. All of the man's world is one leg. The remaining leg is found in women. So we should be able to empower both, so that we can benefit. And let me tell you something. Men who have been raised by empowered women, they know the value of that benefit. They know the value of that benefit. So you can't fight it when it's your wife, and you appreciate it when it's your mother. Or fight it when it's your wife and appreciate it when it's your
mother.
sister or your daughter. Because if you watch the dynamics, when it's your daughter, oh, that's a lovely thing. Let her fly. Let her go to the highest.
Let us soar.
Convert that into wife. Now you want to silence it. You want to fight it. You want to castigate it and all those kind of things. So the point of shining a spotlight on women is not to fight men or to ignore men.
All right.
We are trying to bring them to a place of empowerment, so that the quality of the overall life we are experiencing can go up. I would be so happy if one of my sons gets to marry the daughter of one of the women that we have empowered through this program.
Wow.
And they say, you know what, that your father really helped my mother, and now we have become, I would really benefit from that, because it's an investment that will be coming back. Because when we suppress it and abuse it and sabotage it, we lose.
Wow.
Because societies that have empowered their women and have allowed their women to contribute to their economies, to their families, to their education, they are doing much better than societies that have been fighting their women. You just do a small comparison between the Western world and the rest of us.
Wow. You've brought out something very important, that when you have both parents empowered, they bring up better empowered children.
Yes.
But I want to imagine, or rather, this is what I am getting from your conversation. Empowerment doesn't really mean raising the bar for another and lowering for another so that they come at par. No, we are coming together up, that everyone is having the equal opportunity. But earlier we talked about equity. That because this is where we are at. Clearly the world right now is chaotic because there is a tilting scale. Earlier we talked about how employment rate is like for women and men. We are yet to really get to that level. But I'm just wondering if employment is anything to go by. Is it that we value employment so much over other sources of income that can still bring about empowered woman, if at all they are not in the corporate space? Where do you exactly balance that out? Because I know statistics that will go out there would still speak about. So is it that the woman is missing also on the business side, or where exactly is it from your perspective as a person who has been handling women and men in your experience?
Yeah. You see, for statistical reasons,
yes,
we would use measurable variables to argue for whatever we are trying to say.
Yes.
So it's very easy to do the count when you look at things like employment, etc.
Yeah.
But the bottom line of all that is a measure called productivity.
Okay.
Yeah. So productivity is a measure of how much value somebody is able to generate or contribute to life.
Okay.
So when we go to employment, we measure it in different ways.
Yes.
How much are you earning? What position are you holding? What title is that? How much influence do you have? Or what region? How big is the region you are controlling? Those are the measures of how we measure things in the employment space.
Yes.
So when we are not looking at things through the lenses of employment, we
Yes.
should also be able to look at things like, are we exhausting the resourcefulness of this person? So whoever married you, other than getting a mother for their children, do they
Yes.
know what else they married? Have they explored your thinking capability?
Awesome.
Have they explored your creativity?
Awesome.
Have they explored the amount of strength you brought to life and how much that can be used to move things around?
Good
Have they
thought.
even tried to experiment with you? How much can this woman move in this house? Can you move this? Can you place this there? Have they explored your creativity to see what else you brought to their life? So in my opinion, that resource should be exhausted, because some of them may not shout or earn big titles,
Yes.
but they have an invention that when they serve to the world,
Yes.
it can change. We have many things that have been invented by women, like the GPS was invented by a woman. Imagine if she was muzzled over that idea and she was told, stop the nonsense that you're about to say, because that's a woman's nonsense. Imagine if they told her that.
Wow.
We would be struggling with finding locations these days.
True that.
But somebody listened to that and said, wow, that's a brilliant idea. Let's see how we can work on it and commercialize it and serve it to the world. And there are so many other things that have been invented by women, and we are taking advantage of that. So that as I look at the women,
Yes.
I'm asking the question, what resource did these people bring to life? When women speak,
Yes.
do we care to listen to what they are saying? Because sometimes your strength is in the words you have spoken. You may not have the muscles, you may not have the titles,
Yes.
but there is something so powerful you've just said that can actually shift the world in the right direction. So that when we begin to do the measure of things,
Yes.
my opinion is that we take care to not miss on those subtle but very important things that may not be masculine or loud
Yes.
or abrasive or something, but those are important contributions of life that if you ignore, you would collapse and die. Do you see the way you are breathing? Before I mentioned the word breathing, were you even aware that you are breathing?
No.
Because air is just going in and out smoothly.
Yes.
It doesn't produce any noise. It doesn't push or move anything around here.
Yes.
But when we shut your nose like this for like 5 minutes,
You're dead.
you will see the whole system collapses. So we can't say, oh, the hand is more powerful than the nose. No, you just don't know what you're saying.
Wow.
The power of the nose is not expressed in physical strength or masculinity.
True that.
It is just expressed in the quietness of the rushing in and out of that air.
Wow.
And sometimes women would show up like a tiny piece of nose. They're just breathing in and out. You shut it, you shut your life. There.
Wow. Yeah, Mr. Radido, you've just shared quite a conversation right there. What's your perspective on that?
Actually concur with Mr. Dooso. The whole he said, I like that he said complementary,
Absolutely.
which is actually the perfect word. Complementary means adding or filling in where you may not be perfect, and you'll do the same for me. And like you said, women have generally been at the bottom of the food chain. So the empowerment women are receiving currently is not even enough as to what has been there before, and it is receiving resistance from the greats who have actually succeeded. They faced really great resistance, and if you come to think of it, still even in our country, we still have communities that are heavily resisting uplifting or empowering their women. So I believe it should be an issue for people to say that men are being neglected. What we should say is, yes, we should continue to encourage the empowerment of women. At the same time, not forgetting that we still have men.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We should not brush off their issues. We should not brush off what they say, because we are, I wouldn't want to say equal. Like you said, the right word should be equity.
Yes.
And there is still a debate around equality and equity.
Yes.
The right word should be equity. That means we are at par. Yeah. So
Yes.
what Mr. Dooso has said has actually encompassed everything that I should think of.
Wow. That's really beautiful to hear from you.
And in fact, just to add on to what she has said,
Yeah.
number one, there's no empowerment of women that will or should change them into men.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because that's the program. The end result of the program can never be like that. And there is no whatever somebody can do to men that should actually transform them or convert them to women. Number two, the empowerment that we are talking about is not meant to prepare people for a fight.
Say that again.
It is the empowerment that we're talking about is not meant to prepare people for a fight. It is meant to enhance the maximum expression of who you're supposed to be. If a woman, maximum of expression of womanhood.
Yes.
Serve the world with your womanhood and your femininity and your softness and your craziness.
Yes.
If you decide to be emotional, give us the best of that thing. If you decide to be crazy, serve it. The best of that, serve it to the world. And the same thing should happen to men. Because when these empowerments come together and they meet at home as father and mother, the children benefit.
Absolutely.
If they happen to appear in a family as brother and sister, the family benefits.
True that.
You see.
True that.
So that we don't have people walking around with a societal inflicted disability because we are trying to cut each other to size. And then instead of producing something, we are producing disabled people. I wouldn't want to be in an environment where I am disabled. And there are some societies that have created environments of disability. As long as a woman lands there, she must be disabled. She can't talk, muted. She can't think. I don't know what you call the muting of the mind. She can't express whatever. That should not be the case. Build an environment where the hands can be hands, the legs can be legs, the woman can be woman, and the man can be men. So that we experience the best of what God intended for us. If we use empowerment to prepare soldiers for a fight, the day everybody acquires that empowerment is the day where we are finishing each other.
Wow.
Yes.
It's very interesting how we have had this conversation. So it means that we don't tell men to behave like women and we don't tell women to behave like men. Just be ourselves. So
let
that
men be men.
Let men be men and let women be women.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I realized that there is in the corporate world there is the pressure to measure up to men. It's still there. But what I usually encourage my coaching clients is just be you, because you cannot be me. And I cannot tell a woman to man up because they can't do it.
They can't man up.
Yeah, they can never
That's
man
not supposed
up.
to be told women.
They can never man up.
Yes.
And you cannot tell. I wonder, those who are telling women whether they can tell men to woman up. Absolutely, that's not possible to do. So in a wrap-up of our conversation, Mr. Radido, I would like you to talk about a little bit more about the publishing work. And now that we've really talked about you having worked with women for 3 years, is there opportunity for those men that would like to also write their articles and be put into a project and air and they share it out there? Is there a plan for that?
Okay, so before I answer the question, let me just talk about the burden of self-sabotage, especially from from the women's perspective, because the book we're talking about today is actually self-sabotage, the things that women do to hinder themselves,
Yes.
First of all, self-sabotage is a self-inflicted condition
Yes.
that should actually never happen. And when it happens, it dents the economy. Not just personal economy, but national economy. There are some things we are supposed to be experiencing. There's an aspect of the GDP of this country
Yes.
that is supposed to be contributed to by the resourcefulness of women. And self-sabotage is stopping that thing from being felt.
Oh.
Number two, self-sabotage, it hinders the expression of certain innovations and certain ideas that should actually come out here as a blessing to the world. There are so many nice ideas, nice insights and inventions that have been locked up or buried because somebody told themselves, this is it's not for people like me to say this, or I'm waiting for permission to be told, or I am too small, I'm too dark, I'm too skinny,
Yes.
I'm too big, I look funny, etc. So self-sabotage dents our ability to experience certain innovations.
Yes.
Self-sabotage actually slows the speed of things. The things we are supposed to experience in January,
Yes.
we are likely to experience them in December because somebody was still self-sabotaging and, slowing themselves down.
Yes. And
So-
that's part of the stories that we actually in the book.
Yes. So
Yes.
if you look at the economic burden of self-sabotage, it's
Yes.
too much.
Yes.
If you look at the burden of self-sabotage in our workplaces,
Yes.
it is too much. We are losing a lot of revenue
Yes.
because of a huge number of people who are still self-sabotaging. The idea that should have been helping the company to break into new
Totally
markets
agree.
6 months ago
Yes,
is
yes.
still being locked someplace.
Yes.
It is affecting families. It is affecting individuals.
Yes.
It is affecting parenting.
True that.
It is affecting careers.
Yes.
Every aspect of life gets affected by this huge demon called self-sabotage. So my encouragement to anybody out there, please stop self-sabotaging.
Yes.
Even if you don't feel ready or you don't feel equal to the task, I'd rather you seek the help of a coach and tell
Yes.
somebody, you know what, I have this idea. I don't know what to do.
Yes.
Show me how I should do it. Rather than saying, oh no, this idea can't work, or this is not for people like me, etc.
Yes.
So seek the help of a professional or a coach and
Yes.
get your thing served to the world. If it doesn't work, let us know that it can't work after you have tried it.
Yes.
Because sometimes you label it can't work, yet it actually
It's
can work.
working. It's working to
You see?
other people. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the self-talk, the self-doubt, the fear, the
The procrastination.
the procrastination,
Yes.
the habit of stopping yourself from self-promotion or
Yes.
self-advocacy
Yes.
should stop. The labeling of yourself as I am stupid, I came from the wrong tribe, I am short, I am thin, I have a funny
dark.
nose, I am dark, I have my eyes are looking funny.
Yes.
All those things should stop. In my opinion, you are capable, you are enough, and if you are not even ready, you can learn. The most important thing about human beings is that you can learn.
Yes.
Because
yes.
learning can translate you from being very stupid to being very brilliant,
I
or
agree.
from being very ignorant to being top of the world.
All right.
You see. So back to your question. Yes, we are a publishing company, and as I said, we do interventional publishing.
Yes.
And when we go into the marketplace or the spaces where we work, we look for gaps that we know we can provide solutions for through the projects that we do.
Yes.
So when we started focusing on this, it is because we saw a huge gap, visibility gap.
Yes.
We saw the gap, the literature gap.
Yes.
We saw the gap around how loud the women's voice is. We also saw the gap about what do people know about women. Many
Yes.
people think they know about these people, and it is because they only know from what they see.
Yes.
There's another set of knowledge that comes when you listen to them talk. When they
that.
tell you what's going on
Yes.
in their world, you get to know it differently.
Yes.
So all these were gaps. And our intention is that this project would trigger conversations that can help us position issues in the right place. Like you see, this conversation here
Yes.
is only possible because we have done a book on the subject.
Yes.
If we had talked about this without writing, I don't know
Yes.
how possible it would be for us to even meet, because we didn't meet in any other place or any other way except through this.
Yes.
So we wanted to trigger conversations, and we also wanted to send signals of encouragement and challenge to the many women who had actually, like, completely written themselves off.
Yes.
Because there are people who, at the point of self-sabotage, they have written themselves off.
Yes.
I can't be married, I can't be employed, I can't do this, I can't be that.
Yes.
It has to be somebody from another tribe or another family.
Yes.
And our intention is to wake you up from that slumber and tell you it's possible for you. You are capable, you are enough. If you put the effort, you can actually do it. Importantly, we wanted to provide, to influence the way leadership capacity building is done.
All right.
Traditionally, the model that has been used to raise leaders is a male model, where is the boss, where
Yes.
is on top, where is shouting and bashing people and stuff like that.
Oh, my.
We want to influence that so that when we are raising leaders, we know that there's a way you raise a man leader and there's a way you raise a woman leader, and their needs are different.
Yes, I agree with you.
Many men don't struggle so much with imposter or self-sabotage, and even
Yes.
if they do, there's a way they do their man thing, and they're able to break out of that, you see. But sometimes a woman may need a lot of assistance
Yes.
for long
Yeah.
before she comes to a place where she feels like, now I can fly.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
because at the point of flying,
Yes.
it takes a different kind of an investment for you to get a woman to fly compared to how we do it for you to get a man to fly.
I think then that explains why in the statistics you talked about earlier, seeing that most women will wait until they meet 100% of the criteria before they take a step in anything, even a basic job application.
Yes.
But for a man, even 20, 30%, they will be confident enough to throw in their application.
You're right. So for you to get a woman to fly,
Yes.
you must be aiming at 100%. Do you know how many pats on the back that is, if you're to use pat on the back to achieve that? For a woman, you have to pat her back almost every day. Oh, you did it very well. You're doing it. For a man, even once every 5 years is enough.
Now we know.
Once every 5 years, that's enough. Like, you see, the last time my father told me he loves me, long time ago.
But you
my
still know he loves you.
My sisters are told almost every day. So if you translate that to pats on the back,
Yes.
for women, you have to like have a patting machine. It has to be patting the back every single day. So the way we get women to fly is different. The investment that goes into that is different because we have a lot of reconditioning that we have to do for us to get it to go like that.
Wow.
So the fact that we are focusing on women does not mean that we are not interested in men at all. We have projects that have men, either individual projects or other projects that are coming up that will also have the voices of men. But as I said earlier before we began the conversation,
Yes.
we are aiming at empowering people for functionality in an equitable way.
Awesome.
So that if this needs 40 to come to this level and this needs 10 to come to this level, we will
Yes.
put 40 here and 10 here.
Yes.
So we get them to the level where they are both empowered and they keep going. So it's not that we are ignoring men or we are not interested in men or we are disempowering men.
Yes.
If we disempower men and we empower women, we create a dysfunctional society.
Which is already in existence in the women's side.
Yeah, so we don't want that. We just want a place where empowerment meets empowerment and it becomes a blessing to everybody.
Wow, awesome, awesome. So, Mr. Radido, if I am out there and I have an article, do I come to you, or how exactly do you identify people in these projects? That should be our last question.
So for a project like this,
Yes.
we would do a thorough background check to see fit.
Yes.
So that when we are reaching out to you, we know or we have an idea of the possibility that you're likely to be the best candidate for it.
Okay.
But it doesn't it doesn't end at that. We reach out and we ask you, would you want to be part of this? If you tell us a yes,
All right.
then we sign you up. If you tell us a no, we can't sign you up, because everything is tied to yeses. Actually, I love talking about yeses, because I think one of the most powerful words somebody can
Yes.
use for life is just yes.
Yes.
So the women who have said yes, including you, have been featured in the book. Those who said no and probably are listening to this conversation, they know themselves. So every place you place a no, that's why that your access to that world is stopped or denied. Because we are working on different projects,
Yes.
when we get a cohort full, we lock it, and then we look for another area of need, and we
Yes.
do that. But there are instances where we did several volumes under the same theme. Like when we started, we were doing She Leads. We did up to volume 4.
Wow.
Because we had so many people who really wanted to participate in that cohort. So we did volume 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
But then after that, we have just been doing single volume, single themed cohorts.
Yes.
And that is helping us to cover certain topics in detail, even as we move. So if anybody is interested,
Yes.
and they do not know where they can feature, the
Yes.
best thing to do is to reach out to us. Then we have a small conversation.
Yes.
We can give them guidance on what's coming up, and then see if they can plug in.
Awesome. So on that note, we are going to share their contact on this episode, so that the people can be able to get in touch with you.
Definitely.
Yes, and since we've been talking about self-sabotage, the book is live and it is available for ordering on Amazon for those who are not around here. And for autographed copy, you can reach out to me directly. My address will also be on the video for you to order that. And you could also get one directly from our publishers. That's it for today. Thank you so much for coming, Mr. Radido. And thank you,
so much, Sylvia.
Celine, for also coming and participating in this conversation.
Asante sana. It's been nice to be part of this conversation.
You're welcome.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us today. Do have a lovely day.